I am ranked number one. One! That means I'm the best.
James Toney, 47 years of age, 27 years of pro, will box Canada's Eric Martel Bahueli next month in Ontario. November the 13th. Friday the 13th. Now, no one seems to, well, some people saw it who saw the fight live. His last fight against Charles Ellis, apparently he lost a wide unanimous decision. His opponent has been stopped 4 times as a pro, most recently by Dylan Carman, the guy who knocked out Razor Ruddock the other month. And that's what he's choosing to do. That's what he's choosing to do. You guys know my theory on the old fighters. You keep going. Like, it sounds brutal, but sometimes they have to take a real hand-to-hand beat down and be beaten out of the sport. That's the only way. December the 19th, Manchester Arena is the new date for Andy Lee versus Billy Joe Saunders, which has been postponed a couple of times, you know. Lee had a viral infection and Saunders cut his eye in sparring. So, December the 19th, Manchester Arena. By all accounts, Jorge Linares had an easy time defending his WBC lightweight title over Ivan Cano in 4 rounds in Caracas, Venezuela. James DeGale says he's not interested in a rematch with George Groves and has branded him a joke. He takes on Lucien Boutte in the first defense of his IBF super middleweight title on November the 28th. In Boutte's back garden in Canada. And he's getting paid a handsome fee for doing so. DeGale says he's got a list of opponents lined up for 2016 and George Groves will not be on that list. That's if he gets past Boutte. DeGale is more interested in facing other Brits like Martin Murray or Callum Smith than Groves. He says he can retire happily with the loss on my record to Groves. He says he's lost 3 world title fights and he still thinks he's got my number. He says, I'm happy, I'm humble and I can relax. He says he didn't look himself on TV the other day. He looks down and then when you mention me, he responds. He doesn't have a clue he's pathetic. He thinks there's a whisker between us. His best days are gone. I'm worried about him as well. He didn't look too good in that last fight, did he? DeGale is hoping Martin Murray beats Arthur Abraham for the WBO crown next month. And that would be very interesting. If Murray can pull off the upset and DeGale can get past Boutte, it's in-house for Eddie Hearn. That is a pay-per-view. That is a British pay-per-view. James DeGale and Martin Murray, if he gets the WBO belt, against James DeGale's IBF belt, pay-per-view, big fight. And it's the kind of domestic match that can propel James DeGale into that household name thing in Britain. And, you know, that's what every British fighter should aspire to if you really want to make that big dough.
I'm telling you and everybody here, I'll fight him anywhere, anytime.
They're calling Gabriel Tito Braquero. They're calling his knockout victory over Danny O'Connor, who was the favourite, the knockout of the year. I watched it this morning on Facebook. It was brutal. A right-hand counter did him in. Connor looked like he was boxing well at the start, actually, you know. Tito was trying to find a range, but the right hook flattened him. Great punch. Great punch.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
A 42-year-old Ben Taki traveled to Mexico to take on Ramon Alvarez and was stopped for the first time in his career in the 4th, you know. He went the distance when he was way past it against Matthew Hatton, Kendall Holt, Alfredo Gomez, Juan Lascano, Ricky Hatton, Shamba Mitchell, Costa Zoo, beat the likes of Teddy Reed, Ray Oliveira, John Molina, not that John Molina, the John Molina, who we used to watch back in the day, beat Freddie Pendleton, knocked out Robert Garcia, went the distance with Gregorio Vargas, was just, you know, very durable, good opposition back in the day. It looks like he took a really bad beating. But that's what happens when you fight on into an advanced age. That's what happens. Chris Eubank Jr. has outlined all his plans to become a major pay-per-view star. Now he's signed with Matchroom. He wants to fight Golovkin within the next year. He's willing to move up to super middleweight. He's called out James DeGale. Adam Booth also believes he can achieve that pay-per-view stardom. Adam Booth also trains Andy Lee, but he confirmed that a clash between Chris and Andy will not take place, at least not while he's training him.
You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son.
A few people in my comment section tried to take a few subliminals, some more direct, saying that I was slating off Keith Thurman. Now what you got to say, Beats? Now he's signing to fight Sean Porter. Well, the fight isn't signed. So, first of all, I apologize for the red flag I threw up. I don't know if it's going to happen. Hopefully Keith does sign for the fight, and it does happen, but it isn't signed. And my only bone of contention with Keith is he hasn't been frozen out of the picture like you guys are saying. You know? You guys are saying he's getting frozen out, but there was big fights for him everywhere. And yes, you just chose not to hear just what you want to hear. You would always hear me saying, I wish Floyd did defend against him. I wanted Keith Thurman to get the shot, but you know, I don't know why I bother explaining, man. I don't know why I bother explaining. And if he is losing the popularity war, it's down to his own doing. From the Errol Spence thing where Errol Spence said he'd murk him, and he said Errol Spence needed to do this, needed to do that. Well, what does Sean Porter need to do? Why hasn't he just said, yeah, I'll fight the guy? Why is he letting Kenny Porter dictate the perception of how the negotiations are going down? Kenny's just dominating the proceedings, saying that Keith hasn't signed no paperwork has got back from Keith. And we're not hearing nothing back from no Keith Thurman representatives or Keith himself. We're just waiting for Keith to come out and say something. And look, he might sign to fight the guy next week. And it's over. I want to see the fight. I don't see what your problem is. I want to see the fight. I believe Keith will win. I mean, you guys talk about extreme Floyd fans. So what are you? If you look at Thurman's resume and you guys are calling him all types of truth, and I'm assuming you think he's a pound for pound top tenner if you're rating him that highly. But I don't agree with that. I think he's a great prospect, but that's where it stops. I give him credit where it's due. When he performs well, I give him credit. But you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
You better not duck me, son.
I don't want to come in between two brothers, you know what I mean? You know,
Fight the power!
but I have to side with Fair Shake on this one in the great debate. I would have liked to have seen Sullivan Barrera against Beterbiev. I think it's a good test. Great eliminator. The winner goes on to fight Kovalev. That'd have been good. But visa issues scuppered that, so he won't be able to get into Canada for whatever reasons. Yunieski Gonzalez also had the chance to take on Beterbiev. I don't think Gonzalez has recovered mentally from the Pascal fight. He was distraught after, wasn't he? He was crying. I don't think he's mentally recovered, because you have to wonder why he would have declined such an opportunity. But Gonzalez's promoter, Joe Guardia, he says they passed because they have another fight in the works for Gonzalez. What fight, though? What fight could be more important than that one there? So I'm looking forward to seeing what fight was more important than an IBF eliminator. That's what I want to see. So Karo Marat steps in. A lot of people are criticizing Marat, but what other options did Beterbiev have? Like, it's not Beterbiev's responsibility to sort out Barrera's immigration or passport issues. It's not his business. What is he supposed to do? Say, okay, tell his promoter and his people, we better shift the operation to America? Nah, he's just training and fighting. Nah, you can't get over there. Get another opponent in. So I agree with Fair Shake. Simple. Beterbiev would have fought him if he didn't have the passport issues. That's the bottom line. Unless anyone can contradict that statement, I'm not retracting. And I believe Beterbiev will smash Kovalev. I think he'll smash his face in. I think he'll beat most people. I think he is a bit of a monster. And at light heavy at 175, his biggest challenges will be Kovalev and Adonis Stevenson. But I think he can knock anyone out, personally. I think if somebody studies the tape hard enough and implements a game plan, they might be able to get at him. But right now, he looks a menace. He looks a menace. This is my opinion. So Guillermo Rigondeaux, WBA Super World Super Bantamweight Champion, WBO World Super Bantamweight Champion, hasn't fought since 2014. Over 11 months. It's a long time. I think there's a 9-month period in which you're supposed to defend your WBO title. That's what I believe. Rigondeaux hasn't been injured. And why no fights have been negotiated in that time, I don't know. His last fight ended up in Japan because none of the major US networks were interested in showing none of his fights, but they were more than interested in showing Roman Gonzalez. So I can see he's probably a bit disenchanted with the game. It doesn't make sense to me why they're making such decisions like that, you know? I didn't hear that outcry from the fans that they didn't want to see Rigondeaux. I didn't see it. I don't like this political game these networks are playing. Go watch the reaction from Max Kellerman after he defeated Donaire, what he said. Straight away, they're like, instantly they started putting the boring tag on Rigondeaux. And it just didn't stop. It didn't stop. Aaron was in it for some reason. I don't know why Aaron got in it. You're promoting the guy. But if he gets stripped, he gets stripped. You've got to defend within the time limit. And if he's not doing that, then the WBO wrote to him and say they recognize his great abilities and all his accomplishments as an amateur and as a professional. But the rules have to be abided by. They're saying he wasn't even forced into a mandatory against any of the 15 top-ranked guys in that sanctioning body. I don't know if them 10 calendar days that they gave him to respond to their decision of why the title shouldn't be declared vacant. It's strange, isn't it? You know, if he's stripped, Donaire will fight for the same belt against Cesar Suarez. Oh well.
Boards don't hit back.
Pulev is going to come back and face off against George Arias, apparently. This is his first fight since Vladimir Klitschko splattered him all around the ring.
Bomb Squad!
Gary Shaw, Bryant Jennings' promoter, says Jennings is not in the running for Wilder's next fight. It will more than likely be on Showtime, and we'll wait to see who the opponent is. I believe they've got to clear it with the WBC whether they're going to give Wilder another voluntary before he fights Povetkin. But Povetkin's fighting Mario Wack and Wilder wants to stay busy and sharp. So we'll see how the developments materialize with that WBC heavyweight title. We'll see.
Tyson Fury is very ambitious, he's very young. I'm going to give him therapy.
Vladimir Klitschko displayed a little bit of that pompous side of his character when he said that Fury hasn't even shown appreciation or thanks that he's giving him a shot at the title. No, I think he's actually mandated by one of the sanctioning bodies to take you on. He doesn't have to give you no thanks for anything. No fighter has to, I'm afraid. Stupidness. Let's get your ass ready for the 28th of November. And let's get it on, baby.
Yeah. Live J 5. Yeah. This one crazy, my man. They only want what they can't have. Hey, who they can be. Fell at plan A, never made plan B. They don't understand me because I stand for something. They can't stand me. Quick to say, man, he frontin', can't see past my past. I survived a crash. I never cried, I laughed. I'm qualified to brag. I decided I'ma switch that shit up. Eat right, do sit up, say a prayer when I get up. Every night another block get hit up. Every day another nigga quit and decide not to get up. Been down for too long, man, I got to get up. Can't do it all at once, gotta chop the shit up. Take it little by little, cause even Malcolm Little took it piece by piece. Then he understood peace was a piece of the plan. But you still need a piece to make the beast understand. Rest in peace to the man. Damn, what a mind, but who the Malcolm of all time? That voice of reason, who gon' help us with our climb? We worry about car bombs, terror, skyjacking. We all for our grind. These niggas fly rapping without hesitation. I take the game by storm. Rain on them, flood the block till I drain my pen. Was in the pen, used to scribe with a pencil and work on my defense, but what's behind that fence still? System is suffocating, choice choking the life out my body every day. I be hoping tonight ain't my last, trying to pass what they predicted me to. I ain't immune to the temptation to get to me too. Should I pursue a lot of dough like my life depends on a pair of car keys that could ignite the Benz? Lost friends over the years who fell short of their dreams, took bullets to the chest in support of their team. So many fiends running around like they barely living. Sometimes I wonder if God even hear me giving thanks and praises. Feel like I'm all alone. Problems the only thing I could call my own. Got a poem for the poverty stricken. Yo, I understand your struggle when I know why you try to be flipping. It's a trap, just look around, they killing us quick. We ain't shit, that's the lies that they filling us with. Right adjacent to the schoolyard is crack on the block. Fake ballers who be drinking cognac on the rock. Can you believe it? These the cats that the kids look up to. That shit is sad enough to discuss you, but who can you trust to be a god in life for them? Who gon' stand up and fight for them like Malcolm did for us, like Martin Luther did for us? Two soldiers probably did for us. So instead of us hating on and killing each other, we need to build. Are you feeling me, brother? Tell me, when will we discover anything that's easy to get is easy to lose? Damn, it's so easy to slip, but anything you work for, you fight to keep it. It's the truth, some don't like to peep it. Just think about that girl that slowed down and make you wait to get it. Damn, you sure appreciate to hit it. But the ones who sex on the first night, they come and they go. That's why the men come and they go. It's so simple to plan, execute it, then reap the benefits. You just got to be definitive instead of chasing what somebody else accumulated. Used to be blind, now my mind's illuminated. Used to try to kill and destroy my own kind. Didn't even have full control of my own mind. Too many OEs, Heinekens, and bags of wet made it so easy to blast the tech. I was out there, but I just refused to stay stuck. And you ain't got to do what I did to wake up. Came so close to the coffin and makeup. Married to the block, but I had to break up. Police officers still sweat me now. Even my baby like 5 don't let me down. Life is a bitch that can't wait to let me pound. J Fever can't shut me down, nah. Yeah. Yeah. What up, Delirious? I told you this one was crazy, my man. We gon' make it happen. We gon' open their eyes more sooner than later. It's got to happen. The return of hip-hop has got to come. Time is here. Live. J5, baby.